Okay, so keeping it going, catching up with movies that I didn't see last year. But it's just I'm kind of okay with it because for 99 cents, this movie's worth it now or a year from now. It'll make sense when I get to the end. Okay, so Cop Shop is a newer movie from director Joe Carnahan, who you might be familiar with from stuff like Smokin' Aces, The Gray, Narc, Boss Level, or Stretch, amongst a few others. So with that, you know you're going to be getting a pretty funny, pretty gritty, probably violent, stylized good time. And for the most part, Cop Shop delivers. Cats are losing their minds right now. Stop talking about that movie, Dad. So the movie stars the three main characters, kind of four. I'm not going to remember the name of the female lead, but she was fantastic. We'll just call her Valerie because that's her character's name. We've also got along for the ride Gerard Butler, Jared. I just and Frank Grillo. Essentially, what it boils down to is Frank Grillo and Gerard Butler, they're basically trying to kill each other while Gerard Butler's trying to kill Frank Grillo for XYZ reasons. And they both end up in a small town prison. And based on stuff that Frank Grillo's character has done in the past, all hell is about to rain down on this small little cop shop. And it's going to be up to Valerie to sort of step up and save the day, so to speak. So, like that, it's kind of like a bottle episode on TV, where it all takes place in one location. Yes, I know it's a movie. It takes place over the course of one night, and it's kind of like if you've seen Smokin' Aces, where it was like all of those assassins trying to take out Jeremy Piven. Think of this movie like two of those hitmen got like removed from Smokin' Aces and put into this situation. You can get a good idea what's going on. And I guess like in that analogy, Valerie would be like Ryan Reynolds' character. Oh, I can feel myself getting off track. Cop Shop itself as a movie, really fun time. If you like stylized, gritty, violent comedies. And you can't really call it a comedy. There's humor in it for sure, but it's almost like sadistic humor. One of the funniest moments is just when Gerard Butler laughs when he's talking about a psychopath. Like, I find that funny, but it's not exactly laugh out loud sort of humor. And when I say stylized, kind of like how stuff like Smokin' Aces and Stretch were, this one is stylized in a different way. It really evokes the feeling of like old 1970s crime movies mixed with Westerns. And it just kind of works. We really got to give props, or at least I do, because I'm the one talking about the movie, to Valerie. And again, I can't remember this actress's name, but she blew it out of the park. I don't know what it is, but she blew it away. She's relatable, she's expressive, she's quick-witted, and she's got a good range when it comes to her performance here. It's weird because I don't remember her name. I was like, Valerie's got good range, but Valerie's a character in anyway. Watching this actress on screen in this role was a treat. She really hit it out of the park. I've never seen her before. I hope I will see her in more stuff going forward because she was great. She really is the sort of like grounded part of this movie. And it's weird because the movie does sort of present options to you, right? It said, well, here's Frank Grillo, and maybe you root for him. And here's Gerard Butler, and then maybe you root for him. And it kind of plays with your emotions on who you should be rooting for. Valerie's the black and white character. You're either going to sympathize with her and side with her, or you're not, and you're probably just a little bit of a sadist. That's fine. I'm not going to judge you. But when it came to the two opposing people trying to murder each other, that was left up for debate in my mind, at least until the very end of the movie, which I won't spoil it, but the final shot of this movie, I thought was a brilliant movie making. And I did mention that there's like this fourth actor because at about the halfway point in this movie, this other assassin shows up trying to get to Frank Grillo as well and is sort of like a competitor to Gerard Butler. I think his name was Robert in the movie, Gerard Butler's character. And this guy shows up. His name's like Anthony Lamb. I don't know who this guy is either, but he did real good. Almost as good as Valerie, but in a much more confined role because he's only in like half the movie. And it's weird because the movie felt like it was one thing leading up to this point, and then when Anthony arrives on the scene, the movie sort of shifts gears and becomes this bonkers violent roller coaster. And it shouldn't work, but it kind of does. The movie as a whole package felt decent. I was going to say fine, but it's better than fine for sure. And Joe Carnahan's directorial eye and the way that he frames his shots and everything is on display here as it has been in his past movies. I just don't know this is like his best effort. He really tried, especially with the style of it evoking the 1970s Western era of films, at least in my opinion. Like I also said at the beginning, it's very violent and gritty. That is on display for sure. If you're squeamish when it comes to that sort of stuff, you're probably not going to like this movie. But even now saying that, I'm probably overselling that. It gets gory when it needs to get gory. It's not gory just for gory's sake, but the violence is on display pretty much throughout the entire runtime of this movie. I mean, there's enough intrigue going on. You're trying to figure out what it was that Frank Grillo did. They're going to do that through some flashback scenes, and there's other stuff going on with other officers in the precinct. And it really was a good time. I'm not going to ramble on anymore about Cop Shop. This was a movie that I really wanted to see for a long time, but never did, just because life and stuff. But I'm going to give Cop Shop a very solid 8 out of 10. I had a really good time watching it, and it is currently 99 cents to rent on the Apple iTunes store. So if you have an Apple account, I highly recommend that you spend $1 and check this movie out if you've ever had any interest in it, or if you have a little bit of interest now that I've sort of rambled on about it. I'm trying to shorten these up just a bit with the last two of me kind of going on for like 10 minutes. That's ridiculous and uncalled for. Cop Shop, fun time if you like violence, humor, grit, and style. If you don't like that, you're probably not watching this review anyway, but I don't know. Who knows? What about you guys? Have you seen Cop Shop? If you have, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one.